The 2025 New Orleans Saints season is set. The schedule is here, and we're going to go through each and every week of this year in the first season under the Kellen Moore regime. But I need to hear from you, Saints fans. Predict the record for the black and gold in the comments section. Welcome into Saints Now by Chat Sports. As always, I am your host, Trizzy Trace Girouard. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. We're going to start off really quick by just showing you the schedule, and we're going to just quickly run through it, and then we're going to run through each game individually and talk a little bit about each one. So, really quick, let's show you the schedule. Week 1, we start off against a quarterback that, for what it's worth, I have caught a pick six off of, so that is an easy win. Week 2, you take on the 49ers. Week 3, you travel to Seattle, then you stay on the road in Week 4, and you head to the Buffalo Bills. In Week 5, you take on the New York Football Giants. Will it be Jameis Winston? Will it be Russell Wilson? Will it be Jackson Dart? Who knows? New England Patriots, Week 6 in New Orleans. Week 7 at Chicago. Week 8 at the Rams. Week 7 will be interesting because you do have a revenge game against Dennis Allen. Week 9, you take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then you take on the Panthers, who are just quite frankly irrelevant in my eyes. Week 11 bye. I'm going to say it's not all that bad. I actually don't hate a Week 11 bye. It's not super duper early. It's not super duper late. It's kind of in the middle, which I do like. Week 12, you take on the team that shall not be named, the Falcons. And then Week 13, the Dolphins. You are on the road for a 2-week stretch here, but then you keep that road stretch going on. Week 14 at Tampa Bay. So 3 weeks on the road in a row. And then you got 2 weeks in a row at home, Panthers, Jets, and then Week 17 at Tennessee. And Week 18, you finish the season at the Superdome. And remember what happened last time the Saints and the Falcons finished the season at the Dome? I remember the Falcons head coach getting fired afterwards. And I remember the Falcons head coach crying and bitching and complaining to Dennis Allen because Jamal Williams took it up the gut and Jameis Winston didn't take a knee. For what it's worth, we own the Falcons at home. Now help me get to 50,000 subscribers, Saints fans. We're getting so close. We're chipping away. And every single video, we are giving you updates on the road to 50,000 subscribers. We go live every single game day. We go live throughout the offseason, and we give you videos pretty much every single day by Saints fans for Saints fans. So subscribe today for free content if you bleed black and gold. Let's go through individually each game step by step here. Week 1 versus the Cardinals. I made the joke I picked off Kyler Murray. I did. That part is not a joke. That part's true. I also will say this. Week 1, you're at home. The Saints have had a really good history in Week 1, especially when it's a home game. I'm hoping the Saints can continue the win streak and get a dub against the Cardinals. Week 2 against the 49ers, that will be a little bit of an interesting battle early in the season. The Niners are a good team, but they struggled big time last year. And honestly, I don't think their offseason has been anything super illustrious. So maybe the Saints could sneak away with the win against San Fran. Week 3 at Seattle. It's going to be a different looking Seahawks team led by Sam Darnold at the quarterback position. JSN is a freak of nature when it comes to being a receiver. They did trade away DK Metcalf, so we'll have to see what happens in Week 3, but I'm definitely interested. And honestly, Seattle early in the football season, it's probably pretty nice that time of year. Week 4 at the Bills. I got to tell you, I am actually excited about this matchup for a couple of reasons. And look, I can understand why some people might be like, man, I really wish that we had this game later in the year because I'd love to see the snow game. I'd love to see those vibes. I'd love to see that kind of aesthetic. But I'm here to tell you right now, I've never been to Buffalo, New York, but I've seen it. It looks really cold in December. And for what it's worth, the Saints do actually have a good history of playing in cold weather. They've won a couple of games, especially one of the coldest games in NFL history. I should say, against the Browns a couple of years ago when it was like -3 or -1 at kickoff or whatever. But this game will be early in the season. The Bills are going to be one of the best teams in the league as they are and as they have been the last few years. On top of that, I also think this is a big win for the Saints because it's not going to be freezing cold. It's early in the year. You get it over with, and maybe you sneak away with the win. Maybe you steal one in Buffalo. Who knows? Bills Mafia, Who Dat Nation, I can tell you that. Those tailgates are going to be freaking electric. Week 5, we're going to take on the New York Football Giants at the Superdome. Marshall Green, Tyler Smith, those guys here at Chat Sports, they've already started jawing at me saying that they're gonna kick our ass. You know what happened last couple times we played against the Giants? Wasn't pretty, but we won. Week 6 versus the Patriots. This one's interesting. I'm actually excited to watch this team. with Mike Vrabel leading the New England Patriots, Drake May in year 2. I think that's going to be a really exciting game, and I think it's going to be a good litmus test to see kind of where the Saints are at, and it'll be a good opportunity to potentially expose some of the weaknesses on the roster for New Orleans and maybe highlight some of the strengths as well. Week 7, I'm actually really excited about this game. I think that the Saints and Bears, it's a fun matchup, just when you take a look at the personnel. You got Caleb Williams, you got Tyler Shough, 2 young quarterbacks. You got a lot of young talent on both sides. But the big storyline here is Dennis Allen, the former Saints head coach who was fired midway through the season last year, is the Chicago Bears defensive coordinator. So it's going to be a revenge game for Dennis Allen. Ben Johnson, the new head coach, he has very high expectations for his team. The NFC North is expected to be very competitive. I think this is going to be a tough game for the Saints to pull off. Week 8. At the Rams. I hate playing the Rams. It feels like every single year we have to play them. I'm tired of losing to them. I hate that team. F the Rams. For the love of God, why could we have not just gotten the no call? I mean, is that too much to ask? I hate the Rams. I'm over it. I hope we kick their asses. I hope we beat them by 40. I hope Matthew Stafford doesn't do anything this game because I'm just tired of that team. I'm so over that damn team. You know what I'm not over? Getting new jerseys in my wardrobe. Chatsports.com/Saints jerseys. You can get players that are currently on the roster. You can get players that were formerly on the roster. You can get legends. You can get some of the rookies. Whatever you want. Home, away, color rush, throwback. You want a men's jersey? You want a women's jersey? You want a kid's jersey? You want a custom jersey? Chatsports.com/Saints jersey. Link is in the comments and description of this video. Go check it out and get yourself some new gear this upcoming season. I think my rookie jersey I'm ordering first is going to be either Devin Neal or Danny Stutzman. Comment who yours is going to be. Let's go to week 9, though. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they are going to be the matchup for the New Orleans Saints at home, at the Dome, week 9. Big game right there. Obviously, it's an NFC South matchup, and it's a big rivalry. And this is a team last year you split even. No, you didn't split even with, actually. You didn't really do well against the Bucs last year. You almost split even with them, and then you lost in the last few minutes of the game. Either way, point being, this is a big game. This game's going to have a lot of implications, especially being later in the season. I think with the New Orleans Saints, you got to be conscious of who you're playing against. You got to be able to win one of these games. You got to be able to at least split them and against these NFC South divisional opponents. You're not going to have a pretty season. Let's just call a spade here. But if you can beat some of these NFC South teams, that's all that matters because that's what's going to take you to the playoffs. And speaking of NFC South teams, in Week 10, you actually have another opponent in the South. Week 10, you take on the Panthers at Carolina. Last time you went to Carolina, Dennis Allen left without a job. Well, not left. He got home, and then he had to update his LinkedIn resume really quick because he didn't have a job. Saints fired Dennis Allen after they lost to the Panthers. Chris Olave got hurt. That game was an entire mess. If I have any Panthers fans watching or Panthers fans seeing this, you're not a rival. You're not relevant. You still suck. I don't care that we split. We hung 40 on your dumbass last year. Week 11, you got a bye week. I think it's a good time for the time of the year to have it after a couple divisional games, and then you have a couple of games that you got to get prepared for, and it gives you more time with this bye week. So week 12, you have 3 straight weeks, or 4 weeks technically, but 3 straight games back to back in the NFC South. You got to find a way to win these 3 games right here. At the bare minimum, you got to find a way to split with the NFC South. Week 13 at the Dolphins. That's going to be a fun one because later in the year, you get to go out to Miami, you get to go down to South Florida, and you get to have some nice weather, get to escape the cold and all that good stuff. I'm just going to call it how I see it. I don't think the Dolphins are going to be some insanely good team this year. I feel like they got a lot of guys who are really fast, and that's kind of it. I think the Saints could win that one. Week 14, you take on the Bucs just 5 weeks after you've played them for the first time this season, and it's going to be in Tampa Bay as opposed to at the Superdome. Again, split with the NFC South. You have to do that. Week 15, so you go Bucs, Panthers, and then guess what? You go Bucs, Panthers again, just flip-flop. You take on the Panthers at home. I want to see the Saints demolish the Panthers. I want to see them absolutely decimate them, dismantle them. I want to see them embarrass them. I want to see them dominate. I want to see Alante Taylor get another multiple sack game against Bryce Young. That's what I want to see against the Panthers. They're not even a real football team. Week 16 versus the Jets. Justin Fields, Aaron Glenn. That could be like a good hey, look what you were missing out on, guys. Look what y'all could have had. Look what could have been. That could be a good opportunity to kind of stick it to those two guys. For what it's worth, I'm glad this game's in the Dome because New Jersey, that time of the year, is very, very cold. Week 17, you get to go to the Music City. You get to go to Nashville, have a fun night out on Broadway on Saturday night. But then Sunday, you're taking on the Tennessee Titans, who are not going to be a good football team. But it's the end of the season for Cam Ward, so maybe he'll try to be ending the year on a strong note. We'll have to see what happens with the Tennessee Titans this year. A lot of big question marks around that team as of right now. But I'm excited for that matchup because I think that's one the Saints definitely can win. And I always will pick the Saints to win this one. Week 18 versus the Falcons. Anytime you play the Falcons, I pick them to win because I have a personal belief, and it's a principle that I hold near and dear to my heart. You never pick the Saints to lose against a team that can't hold a 25-point lead. It's just a principle. I don't know what to tell you. Which Saints game are you most excited about? For me, it's got to be that Week 18 versus the Falcons. I love that game. It has so much juice every single year. But honorable mention, you know what? I think that the Week 4 Bills game could be a lot of fun. But if you guys don't remember what we all got, let me tell you. Week 1, Arizona at the Dome. Week 2, versus the 49ers in New Orleans. Week 3, you travel to Seattle. Week 4, you're back at home against the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. Week 5, I'm really looking forward to that one, actually, because I can't wait to chirp Marshall Green and Tyler Smith until I literally can't speak anymore. Week 7, you take on Dennis Allen's new defense in the Chicago Bears. Week 8, against the Rams. Week 9, you're versus the Bucs. Week 14 at the Bucs. Week 10 at the Panthers. Week 15 versus the Panthers. You have your bye in Week 11. The Falcons finish off the year, and you play the Titans in the second to last game against Cam Ward, the first overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. Who Dat Nation, I hope you guys enjoyed today's content. A little bit of information on each and every single game for the New Orleans Saints 2025 season. It's going to be a long year. It may not be pretty. It may be tough, but I'm here to tell you, we just got to find the positives, and we just need to see movement in the right direction for this franchise. So Who Dat Nation, I really appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm excited for this season. It's going to be a blast. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time.